On a small Mediterranean island, hidden from the bustling cities of Europe, lies a mystery older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, giant temples carved from enormous slabs of stone, crafted by a civilization that vanished thousands of years ago, without leaving behind a single word. Welcome to the astonishing story of the megalithic temples of Malta, structures so ancient they challenge everything we think we know about our past. Who built these colossal monuments? And why did their builders suddenly disappear? It all started between 3,600 and 2,500 BC on the tiny island nation of Malta. At a time when most humans were struggling to survive, the inhabitants of Malta were already mastering the art of megalithic architecture. For centuries, the temples of Malta stood as the oldest freestanding structures on Earth, an honor only recently taken by Turkey's Göbekli Tepe. Yet, Malta's temples remain among humanity's oldest known structures, far older than Egypt's Great Pyramid or Britain's Stonehenge. So what makes Malta's temples so incredible? These structures were not built all at once. Instead, they evolved through three distinct phases, each generation adding to the sophistication of their ancestors. The Gantija phase, named after the famous Gantija temples, saw the first ambitious projects take shape. Here, on the island of Gozo, enormous stones, some weighing over 20 tons, were lifted and placed with unbelievable precision. But how did they manage it? Ancient Maltese folklore suggests giants were responsible. In fact, the word Gantija translates literally to giant's tower. Could there be truth hidden within these ancient legends? As time moved forward, the architecture grew even more refined. By the final stage, the Tarshian phase, the temple culture had reached its peak. Temples became complex masterpieces, complete with intricately decorated walls and carefully sculpted altars where rituals lost to time were once performed. At places like Mnajdra, the precision of the ancient builders reaches almost supernatural levels. These temples align perfectly with the rising sun on solstices and equinoxes. On the longest and shortest days of the year, sunlight pierces through temple doorways, illuminating carved stones deep within sacred chambers. Was this just coincidence, or were these ancient people masters of astronomy, thousands of years ahead of their time? Yet, despite their genius, these architects remain nameless. Their civilization left no written records, no hieroglyphics, no carved tablets, nothing but the stones themselves. What happened to them? Why did they vanish so suddenly around 2500 BC? For centuries, archaeologists struggled to answer this very question. Early researchers were puzzled by strange layers of construction, where Bronze Age peoples had built atop older Neolithic sites, obscuring crucial evidence. Even Malta's most renowned archaeologist, Sir Temi Jamet, initially faced criticism for his early dating of the temples. But modern radiocarbon tests proved him right. These temples were far older than scholars dared believe. Each of the temples has its own unique story. Ħaġar Qim, battered by centuries of wind and rain, stands high on a limestone ridge, quietly guarding secrets of the past. Nearby, Mnajdra Temple overlooks the Mediterranean, a masterpiece of astronomical alignment and ancient artistry. Then there's the ancient site of Skorba, where fragments of charcoal and pottery date human presence back to nearly 5,900 BC, making Malta one of humanity's earliest settled islands in the Mediterranean. And of course the grand complex at Tarxien, home to spectacular carvings of spirals and animals, evidence of rituals we can only imagine. But despite all we've discovered, countless mysteries remain unanswered. Why were these temples built? Were they places of worship, observatories for tracking the heavens, or something else entirely? And perhaps most intriguing of all, what happened to the civilization behind these marvels? Why did their extraordinary culture disappear so suddenly? Today, many of these temples, like Gantija, Ħaġar Qim, Mnajdra and Tarxian, are recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. They attract thousands of visitors, scholars, and explorers every year. Yet, standing before these ancient stones, one can't help but feel that their greatest secrets are still waiting to be uncovered. The temples of Malta aren't just relics, they're a puzzle that speaks of forgotten ingenuity, a lost civilization, and a culture that rose and fell without leaving us their names or their stories. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes these temples so endlessly fascinating. The stones still stand, silently watching over Malta, carrying secrets from humanity's forgotten past, quietly challenging everything we thought we knew about history. As long as they remain, so does the mystery, and perhaps that is their true legacy, reminding us how much we have yet to learn about ourselves and the ancient world from which we come. The megalithic temples of Malta, built in silence, abandoned without explanation, and today still refusing to give up their secrets. What ancient truths are hidden within these stones? Perhaps someday we'll finally uncover the answers. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop digging into history's greatest secrets. If you enjoyed uncovering these mysteries with me, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay curious. See you next time.